Well, hello everybody. For those of you that have just joined us, it is South African Baseball TV, and of course, as you know, we try and go to you live every Thursday evening at 9 p.m. Um, well, many of you will of course know that we're trying to get South African Baseball TV on the map, and tonight, nice special show for you. We are lucky to have the Vice President of South African Baseball, Mr. Paddy van Niekerk, on the show with us. We also have Kyle Botha, South African national team vice captain, and we've of course got Americo Juma, coach of the South African Baseball Fives side, on with us. So, without any further ado, let me get the panel on board and say hello to everybody. Paddy van Niekerk, let's first say hello to you, Paddy. How are things going on your side? Well, we just seem to have lost Paddy's audio there. Americo, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Fantastic. Yes, we can hear you 100%. And Kyle Botha, looking fantastic in your cap. Can you hear us?
Good evening. Can you?
All right, we got a little bit of a scratchy signal there, but we'll see how it comes back. Paddy, let's see if we can get your audio back. Somehow we seem to have lost you, but hang on, maybe it's just simply a setting. There we go. Paddy, how are you doing?
Yeah, all good in you. I can hear you loud and clear.
There we go. Fantastic. We've got the big man himself, literally the big guy. Folks, Paddy van Niekerk, not only physically a human monster, but a big man in baseball, and of course a big leadership figure in South African baseball. Paddy, great to have you on the show. Of course, folks, for those of you that have just joined us, and we've got a handful watching us now, let me introduce you just again. South African Baseball Vice President Patrick van Niekerk comes out of the Gauteng region. He's going to tell us a little bit about his structures tonight. While Kyle Botha, our national vice captain, is fiddling with his camera. I'm sure it's going to get settled any second now. And of course, Americo Juma, who has just returned from Mexico, where our South African National Baseball 5 side was taking part in the Baseball 5 World Cup. Paddy, let's begin with you. And before we talk about Baseball Fives, not so long ago, just over a month ago now, you and Kyle, of course, at the World Baseball Classic in Germany. What a spectacular event, and of course a proud opportunity for Baseball South Africa.
Yeah, without a doubt, it was an unbelievable trip to go on. Our guys, even though we didn't get the results that we were looking for, I think we can be super proud of the way that they performed, playing against every single side at a full pro setup compared to our guys, and they really went out there and played their hearts out. And yeah, very proud of what they did.
Kyle, for you guys, it was a special opportunity. I mean, the last time that you guys as a team got together, I think you had to see the front end of an aeroplane very quickly to get out of America.
Yeah, that is correct. Obviously, trip now when we're in Germany was the second opportunity, if you will, as we sent home from the States due to COVID. 2020, we got hurried off from the States and particularly took the last flight of JFK. So, yeah.
Okay, a little bit scratchy there, but signal seems to be going on Kyle's side. But we'll see if we can get him back. Americo, for you, Baseball Fives, I mean, firstly, congratulations on the performance. Welcome back to South Africa. You must be exhausted.
Yeah, it was a very long trip, but we are very proud to represent South Africa in that first ever World Cup. It was a very good experience for our players. And also, it was also good for South Africa baseball with the performance that the guys put against big teams like Cuba and Venezuela. They've been playing Baseball 5 more years before us. It was a very good, outstanding performance from our players and a good experience as well.
Paddy, I'm just looking at some of the folks that are viewing us online now. I'm pretty sure we're going to get quite a few questions. Let's go back to the World Classic. You were saying that from a team perspective, a lot of the teams that you played against there, they've been playing constantly for a couple of years now. But of course, our South African team had to really pull it together.
Yeah, look, all the countries that were represented at the Classic pulled in some pro players from all over the world to partake. We were unfortunate in that we had three of our top players that we would like to have in the side that couldn't join us. But in saying that, I mean the guys that we took across with us, I mean they really trained hard, played well, and they can be super proud of the achievements that we did. Playing against pro players that are playing this game as part of that's basically their makeup. That's what they do every day.
Yeah.
And for us to go there from a club structure and to perform the way that we did, I think we can be super proud of our achievements.
Carl, let's go back to you. From a team point of view, interesting challenge. I mean, it was not an easy setup. Hopefully we've got some smoother audio with you now, but not an easy road to overseas. I mean, the months that you guys prepared in the build-up to going to Germany, the sacrifices that everybody had to make under very difficult conditions. I mean, just tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I mean, South African, being African in general, we're quite used to adversity and overcoming adversities. So, the challenges that we had preparing for this tournament is very typical of being a South African. Practicing in the dark, not having great facilities in terms of baseball facilities, being in winter, having to prepare in Cape Town, super wet, and having to try and get indoor was a difficult thing. And obviously the guys sacrificed time, long hours, day in, day out, weekends away from family. So it was definitely a challenge.
Americo, we're going to come to you in a second. Paddy, the dynamics of a baseball team like that traveling overseas, behind the scenes, the administrative work that has to happen, that was something to behold. It was quite spectacular. I mean, the amount of admin that you guys had to do, from aeroplane flights, coordinating international players in different countries, coming out of different time zones. How much hard work did that take?
Yeah, look, with all due respect, the credit has to go to our president, Mark Moreau. I don't know how he's actually coped this year with all the World Cups that we've had going out, and then obviously the Classic as well. And he was instrumental in obviously taking on the challenge of all the admin and arranging flights and speaking to ambassadors of different countries and different consulates and trying to get visas pushed through earlier than. It was an absolute nightmare. And with all due respect, that in itself is a full-time job. I mean, just the coordinating of that for one side, let alone for all the age groups that actually went out this year. So yeah, hats off to him. He really pulled off a miracle.
And from one miracle then to another, the Baseball5 side, Americo, it was a similar challenge. Well, in fact, I mean, Paddy, you'll talk about this in a second or so, but I think South African baseball's had 7 World Cups this year, of which Baseball5 was the last one. Well, as far as we know, it was the last one this year. Heaven knows if there's going to maybe be another World Cup coming around the corner here before December. But America, same sort of pattern. Athletes from around South Africa coming together to make it into the team, working hard behind the scenes, and also a lot of sort of typical, similar to what Paddy was saying now, administrative setup to get everybody to Mexico.
Yeah, like what Paddy just have alluded, we also salute and also respect Mr. Mark Moreau for pulling strings together, because like applying for visas, it was a last-minute.com, but our president pulled the strings together, and it was also not easy for us because of the funding as well with the camps and the likes. And the other challenge we had during the preparation is 98% of our players, they are students. They've been like moving exams left, right, and center, so it was difficult for them because some of them they have to study in camp. Even some of them had to study the World Cup. We also had one player who had to fly earlier back because they had an exam the day after arriving. So it was tough for our players.
Did the players do any studying, or did the players do any studying or exam work while they were overseas, or was it just 100% focus on the game?
No, they were trying to balance because most of them they had exams as soon as they arrived. So it was tough for them because they had to focus on the games, and the games were tough, and also they were preparing for tough exams as well. So it was a bit of a challenge for our players.
Folks, I just got to say that we do have some viewers coming online. We've of course got the live chat on at the moment, and for those of you that are watching live with us right now, please feel free to jump in on the conversation. We've got Patrick van Niekerk, Vice President of South African Baseball. He'll be able to answer any technical questions that you have. Americo Juma is, of course, coach of the South African Baseball5 side, and he'll be able to tell you anything about Baseball 5s. And Botha is a legend of baseball himself and a leader of the national team. You can ask him any questions you want. But I want to just give a shout out here to Nikki Adonis, who says, good evening, everybody. So, folks, you've at least got one fan saying hello to everybody. So hello, Nikki, if you are watching us right now, welcome and great to see you. Patrick, tell us a little bit about some of the other World Cups. You had the under-12s, you had the under-18s. Of course, there was the seniors going to the Baseball Classic, but you also had the under-23s in action from a South Africa point of view. Hard road for all of the teams. But the one thing that stood out for us across the board was just how proudly the players, the teams, everybody, without fail, come together, and how every country, every YouTube channel, every live stream that there was, they were talking about the spirit of South Africa.
Well, yeah, that's true South African form. With all due respect, we've been out of baseball for the 2 years of COVID. Every age group took a hampering. It was tough on every age group to go there and compete. At that level, with us not having been playing the game for the 2 years that we were out of it. So yeah, I think every from the under-12s right through to the under-23s, every age group had their challenges. But that's been said, like you just rightfully said, the true spirit of the players pulled through in true South African form. The guys stuck it out. They really played hard every single game right up to the end. And we can only hope to get better, but we got to be playing a lot more competitive baseball to try and compete at these World Cups. It's just we don't play enough of that at that level, and if we want to get better, that's the only way we're going to be able to start showing face and competing against the sides. We got to get into Europe, maybe start playing out of season before the World Cups. We just got to be playing at that level a lot more to be competitive.
Carl, tell us about some of the games that you had at the World Classic. I think the opening game, if I remember correctly, was against Spain. And then, of course, you came up against some of the other teams who, as we said, they've been playing constantly. But the Classic, I mean, all of the games that you guys were in, and I'm sure that home run from Dale Feltman was one of your big hits. Everybody seemed to be ecstatic about that. But tell us about some of the games. I mean, it was really close. And we've just lost Carl's audio there, folks. Let's just see. We're going to have to we'll come back to Carl in a second. Americo, Carl, you let us know when you're back. Americo, let's just have a quick look here, folks. There might be just a little technical thing on our side. Is it on our side or Kyle? I think there we go.
Can you hear me, Jamie?
We can hear Patrick. We've got.
We're all good.
Yeah, we're all good there. Americo, let's go to you while we deal with the gremlins in the background. The Baseball5 side, it's been now. I think you guys just got back now. Opening game. I mean, just tell us a little bit more about Baseball5s, just for the folks that are watching maybe for the first time. Incredible game. 5-a-side, mixed gender. This is a really a game that looks like it's going to be taking the world by storm.
Yes. Yeah, so Baseball5 is just an urban version of baseball and softball. So it is one instrument, one tool that we can use to promote baseball. All corners of South Africa. You don't need equipment, you just need a ball, you just need a rubber ball, and you don't need a bigger space. And it's also played with the mixed gender, like what you've just said. But it follows its all principles of baseball and softball. And the rules and regulations is a combination of baseball and softball rules. And it's also in a game is composed of 5 innings that you can play in a 3-series format. So it is a very easy game to teach, and it's a very easy game to play as well.
You, of course, had baseball legend Haley Scott together as your counterpart in the coaching and management structure. You had Mariska Botha there as your captain. But again, one of the things that we saw that took the world by storm was the spirit of South Africa. I think you guys were dancing to Mendoza. Everybody was trying to copy you. You were doing Jerusalem. Everybody was trying to copy you. And after every game, the other teams would join you. I mean, we saw also our African counterparts, Kenya, come to join you guys. The spirit was just incredible.
Yes, I think as South Africa, traditionally in baseball, all baseball community, the spirit and the fighting spirit and the endurance, it's our strength. So that dance and having fun was the key for the team, because the objective was to have fun for us to win the games. So we're just keeping on to our objective. The players had fun, and we managed to rope in more spectators through our spirit.
We've got another shout out here, folks. I've got to give a shout out to Tony Jones, and Tony says greetings from Helsinki. All right, all the way long distance, and he says hats off to Americo and the South African Baseball 5 side. So America, you've got fans from all around the world following in there. Kyle, are you back with us? Kyle looks like he's a bit frozen. We'll go back to that. Patrick, Baseball 5s looks like it's going to take off. It's easy to play. You don't need a bat, by the way, folks. You don't play Baseball 5s with a bat. Kyle, you're back now. Can you hear us?
Can you hear me?
There we go. We've got Kyle back. Yes, we can hear you fine. Let's come back to the Baseball 5's topic in a second. Kyle, we were just asking you before we lost you. Tell us about some of those matches at the World Baseball Classic. I mean, they went down to the wire.
Yes, so we started off against Spain. And, we actually came back twice in that game to really tight. They ran away with it. One of the innings, we made a few errors, and we came back, and it's just South African fighting spirit that we're talking about. So, the game could have gone either way, and we were unlucky in the end of it not to come out on top. Then we went to game 2, which was Germany, and my roomie Dale, he put us on top with a solo home run, and that really got the guys fired up. So, we definitely can compete. We just need to be competing at that level for a longer period of time.
Yeah. Paddy, you want to jump in there?
Yeah, that game was a game of inches, both games. I mean, the way the guys fought back in both games was phenomenal. The no-dice spirit was amazing. Good to see.
Yeah. Let's go back to the Baseball 5s, America. So you guys traveled, of course. You played in Mexico City. One of the things that was really notable there is the amount of resources, energy, and I suppose glitz and glamour is maybe another word to look at it, that the World Baseball and Softball Confederation put into that setup. The opening ceremony was just absolutely incredible. The fireworks across the buildings, down the streets. The fans in Mexico City coming down, the setup of the tournament, and even the broadcasting, the quality of all of the broadcasting with all of the games live on game time. I mean, that must have been an incredible atmosphere.
Yeah, I can say like the setup. We can say hats off to the Mexico Baseball and Softball Association for putting up that setup. From us and the players, it was like an event beyond expectation. The opening ceremony, the setup, and all the organization was just good. Even the people of Mexico, they were just good to us. We felt at home from the first day we get. We're the first country to get there, but we in Mexico.
Some of the teams that you played against, obviously Cuba came out on top there. Paddy, the other teams, they've been playing baseball fives for quite a long time now. The likes of Cuba, obviously Mexico, Japan. I mean, newcomers to the table, Lithuania. But can we compete with these guys? I mean, I don't know. We'll come to America, we'll say yes, you know. But Paddy, what were your thoughts? Well, Paddy's frozen, so America, we're going to come to you after Paddy's unfrozen. But I mean, you are there. We go. Paddy's back. I mean, we are the African champions. We won the Africa Championships in Tanzania. Paddy, the question I was asking, you know, considering the likes of a Cuba who was absolutely dominant in the tournament, but South Africa was giving it stick, so to speak, without a bat, across the board, which is interesting because the baseball fives field is almost like a board. Do you think we're going to be able to compete? As I say, we are the Africa champions.
Without a doubt, you know, I think, you know, after the tournament, I think after, you must remember, baseball five is a very new component of the sport in the country. Not many people have even known about it. Obviously, we had tryouts in the different provinces when we did the Africa qualifiers, and we went out there. But I still think people weren't really afraid, didn't really know what it was all about. But now, after having the World Cup, and I'm hoping that we had a lot more people watch and kind of get the idea of the sport and what it entails. I think we're going to really pull the numbers in. It's a quick, fast game. And yeah, to answer your question, I think we're definitely going to be able to compete. I mean, they finished 7th in the world in the first World Cup. I think they can take serious pride on that. It was phenomenal to see the way that the side pulled together.
And unbeaten in the placement round. Going,
100%, you know.
Going I think 5 out of 5 in the placement round. Incredible performance, yeah. Carl, do you think you guys are going to play both? Go for it, Paddy.
No, sorry, even on our technical side, you know, we can be very, very proud that, you know, South Africa, we had a Jason Bell from South Africa that was selected as one of the umpires. Not only did he get the opening game of the tournament, but he also got to umpire the bronze game. So that says something from our technical guys and our umpires. I mean, he went across, did a great job as well. So that's off to him as well.
Yeah, one of 2 Africa umpires at the Worlds. One of only 2. Kyle, do you think you're going to be playing a bit of baseball fives as part of the warm-up before you play your main matches?
I don't know if that's one thing that we would do as a warm-up, but I definitely think it's something that the guys can do to hone some skills, you know, hand-eye coordination, some agility, and just a bit of speed. You know, quite a fast-paced game, so it looks like a lot of fun.
Yeah. Your kids are probably going to start playing baseball soon. Are they going to start off with baseball fives, or they and then get into baseball, or straight into baseball?
Well, my little girl runs around with a baseball the whole time. I think that's the first word she said was ball. So, you know, whether it's on the fives or baseball field, that I'm sure it will happen.
Yeah. Americo, one of the highlights of the match of the World Baseball World Cup is Louis Albertine being recognized in the All-Star team. I mean, that's also one of 5 players around the world to be recognized. I mean, that's an incredible awesome achievement.
Yeah, no, the young man had a good tournament. He was very consistent in his hitting. He did very well. Also, he had smart, aggressive base running, and his fielding was just good.
Yeah,
I think we take away from that young man. He did a very great job, and despite that, he just came back from the under-18 World Cup, and then he had also too much pressure from the under-18 World Cup, and he was the one who was writing his final exams as well. So he did a great job. Stick to that.
Yeah, no, a tremendous amount of hard work. Paddy, is that one of the things that you guys teach in baseball? It's about uniting as a family. There's a brotherhood. It's hard work, discipline, and all that.
Yeah, I think it's a known factor that this game is that's what it instills. That it breeds discipline, it breeds brotherhood. I mean, every side that I've been involved with, it just oozes brotherhood. It's just one of those games. That's why it's such a great game to be involved in.
Kyle, you guys were also led from the front by Jonathan Phillips, a legend of baseball in South Africa. We've spoken about this before. These generations of family members who have gone through the structures. You're of course vice captain, but the leadership between the two of you and seeing the passion that the players bring out. I mean, we have to give credit to Jonathan and his dedication and commitment.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Jonathan's been in the national team longer than I have, and I've been there for 17 years. So, he's one of those guys that just naturally takes lead and, really puts his best foot forward and tries to example. And, I guess he's done that throughout his whole career. From the time that I came in as a 17-year-old till now, he's always been that type of player.
Yeah. Carl, are you still in touch with the guys? I know there's WhatsApp groups and stuff. Are you guys all talking and challenging each other now? Because now what I'm seeing the other side of the table is that you guys have all gone back to your home clubs, and it looks like war.
Well, yeah, some very good, interesting results over the last 2 weekends. Obviously, the top two teams here in the Western Cape went head-to-head, which is Botha Tigers versus Botha Baseball Club, and Botha came out on top with a walk-off win in the 9th inning. So, yeah, that was a really good game of baseball. We had a number of national team players going head-to-head, and it was top-notch baseball. Good hits, good pitching, exactly what baseball should be.
The Belleville Tigers seem like they've got their tails up at the moment. I saw them in a match against the Athlone A's the other day that went down, also right down to the dying seconds. Is that going to be the dominant team in Cape Town this season, or is it going to be Botha?
Well, at the moment they're on top of the log, and I think there's always a home and away fixture, so we'll see how it goes when they come to the South, I would say. And it's good for baseball when the top two teams and the top three teams are all competitive together. So, competitiveness breeds and, it just expands the level of baseball, and that's what we need.
We're just getting some more comments in here from Tony Jones, of course, who's watching us online. He says, in fact, there were 4 African officials, one from South Africa, Jason, and who he says was brilliant, one from Kenya, who had the home plate for the final, and 2 from Tunisia. Tony Jones says he was the sole representative from Europe and the United States. So, Tony, congratulations, and fantastic to see this international interaction where we're all talking to each other and able to keep the links alive. Americo, what comes next for you guys now? I mean, I know some of the players are in fact still busy flying back. You and Haley Scott have just freshly returned. Moretti Sylvester has gone back to Limpopo. Aiden Barties has gone back down to the Eastern Cape. You've got Chad Bierkes, who was watching from the sidelines in Cape Town. Mariska Barnard and Journey and Nicolene. I think they're all back into Gauteng. But what's next for you guys now? Is it now a continued focus of growing the game, getting into the clubs, getting into the schools?
Yes, I think now our main focus is all these national team players. They've become the ambassadors of Baseball5 in their region and in their respective provinces. So the goal is for them to help us drive the game, run clinics as much as they can with our support from the South Africa Baseball5 Commission. And also what we're doing as well is to coordinate and run more capacity building for educators in primary schools and high schools so that we keep the ball rolling. Our long-term plan is next year we start off with the primary schools Baseball5 leagues. I think we had some couple Baseball5 festivals just like for mass participation. And then this weekend, we're going to continue capacitate the same educators who attended the festival in Mamelodi. And we've got a very good backup and a very good working relationship with Department of Basic Education. They had a very good buy-in, especially this side from Gauteng, and we expect that to be uniform in all the provinces as well.
Paddy, in Gauteng, I mean, it's fantastic to see baseball is so active. I think there are many sport codes out there that wish that they were this active. You guys don't stop. It's an all year long activity. Baseball fives, of course, rolling out across the country. Some of the provinces have got different league competitions and so on. And in Gauteng, the guys are also busy. I mean, recently, I think just a few days ago, Dean McKinnon had a Pat McKinnon celebration tournament at Giants, as the Imps Giants or Giants baseball club. And again, I think in their case, they were busy promoting T-ball and had something like more than 30 or 40 teams participating.
Yeah, look, the Pat McKinnon tournament was for all the age groups. That was held about a month ago at Edenvale. Then there was a T-ball tournament planned for last weekend, and I'm actually not sure if it actually went ahead with all the rain.
That's right, the Pat McKinnon. Sorry, I've got my wires crossed. Pat McKinnon was about a month ago, and then there was an open day at Giants.
That was actually at Benoni. The T-ball competition was at Benoni. But anyway, it's Gauteng.
One field looks like the other.
But to answer your question, look, it's predominantly the junior season now. So the juniors and seniors play different seasons. The seniors will start a draft league. They were going to try to get some games in before the end of the year, but I think that's been put on the back burner until January. What they do there is they take all the players from the top clubs, and we have a full draft set up, and then that kind of helps them do the selection for the provincial side, and then they go back to the club structure and they play games as well. So to answer your question, it is busy. Yeah.
All right, I see Carl Botha wants to go to sleep, so folks, I think we're going to head towards Carl, what are you busy with at the moment?
What am I busy with at the moment?
Yeah, from a baseball point of view.
Work.
Work. All right, okay. We'll leave it at that. We'll leave it at that. But listen, guys, and of course to everybody that was watching us live tonight, and those that will keep watching us live, we're going to stick around. I'm going to stick around with my guests who are on with me tonight. Of course, Patrick van Niekerk, Vice President for South African Baseball, on with us. We're going to finish the stream, and I'll keep the group with me. Americo Juma is, of course, coach for the South African Baseball5 side. They've just returned from Mexico, where they played in the World Cup there. Had a fantastic opening round and an unbeaten the placement round. And, of course, Carl Botha, vice captain for the senior team, who was just over at the World Baseball Classic. So, for those of you that are watching us right now, please make sure that you tune in every Thursday evening here at 9 p.m. We chose this time specifically because it's a sort of a middle time in terms of our international participants, so they can also participate and watch the live South African baseball show. But please make sure that you tune in, because it's on this show that we will be focusing on the heroes of baseball in South Africa. We will be talking about the clubs, their results. Paddy spoke about the T-ball. We spoke about previous competitions. Americo is going to talk to us on a regular basis about baseball fives, and in fact next week we will have Ali Scott on the show with us, and she'll also talk to us a little bit about baseball fives in South Africa. Unfortunately unable to join us tonight because of load shedding. And folks, for those of you that are also not aware, of course recently it was the Masters tournament in KZN. They also got together for the first time in a number of years. So this show is going to cover and talk about everything baseball. So make sure that you tune in every Thursday night. In fact, subscribe, ring the bell, like it, so that you know that you'll get notified on a regular, whenever we are live. So to our Tony Jones, if you are watching us there, thank you very much for joining us this evening, as well as to Nikki O'Donis for joining us this evening. Patrick, we'll say good night to you. We'll, of course, ask you to hang around for us to do the wrap. Yes.
Can we just make let's be gender right, and let's also make mention of the women's baseball as well. Otherwise, we could all get ourselves into trouble. Yeah.
Tell us a little bit more about that, Paddy.
Well, it's also a big driving force since our NBC last year. We've got women in baseball has started up last year, and it's growing phenomenally as well. And I'm sure Hayley Scott Marie, when she's on next week, can give us some more insight into that. But yeah. Obviously, there's a Women's World Cup happening next year, so we're preparing, hopefully preparing some sides together so we can do a selection process on that and get our girls across there as well to fly the flag for us.
Yeah, and I think as you mentioned there, Patrick, it's good for us to be talking like this because then we get reminded of everything that we need to talk about. So great that you mentioned that, and we also look for feedback from the fans. We look for feedback from the public, and that we can find out what topics do you want us to discuss. And of course, we've got experts like Kyle Botha from the national side, Americo Juma from Baseball South Africa, at least Baseball 5s, and of course Patrick van Niekerk. So Kyle, we'll say good night to you first, but also to ask you to stick around.
Thanks, gentlemen. Awesome chatting with you guys, and look forward to many more.
And America, we'll of course have you on again, hopefully next week with Haley Scott to find out more about the Baseball 5 side, and of course maybe even bring some of the players on with us.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks very much for having me today. And what I just want to say to the baseball softball community and the new members, Baseball 5 is for everyone. Hashtag we play it everywhere. We are open to have new blood, new members. That's the objective of Baseball 5. To recruit new members in the team in our community. Thank you very much.
And Patty, I know you guys are going to stick around for a few seconds. We'll say goodnight to you as well, and hopefully we'll get you back on with us as soon as possible, if not next week.
Great, guys. Great being here, and thanks for having us, JP.
There we go, folks. The South Africa Baseball live YouTube stream. Fantastic to have you with us tonight. We hope that wherever you are, you watch the show. Remember, subscribe, ring the bell. That way you get all the notifications. We will end the stream there. And, of course, say to all of you, find the baseball club near you. It's easy to do. And remember, www.sabaseball.co.za. That's where you can find it all that you need to find. And we'll see you again next week, same time, same place.